Okay, hello and welcome back to, I think we're on to part 11 of the USS Arizona Build. It's a 1/200 scale by Trumpeter. And when I last left in the previous part, we were at putting all the superstructure and mast supports all together, which is done. And now we're up to the painting section. I recently put this one together. It's got the it's like these cranes that are sticking out from the side here, or the scaffold, looking quite nice. Be careful I don't bump those off. So that's all ready for painting. All of these sections, everything here is all ready to be painted. Took a run to the local discount store today and bought myself a bag of disposable chopsticks. Sorry about the brightness. Disposable chopsticks and mini pegs. The idea is, previously I used blue tack and toothpicks to hold pieces in place, and then I would stick them in some foam and stick them all in there and use them to paint with. But now these things are all a little bit bigger, so the idea behind that is the chopsticks I just grab like this, and then I super glue my little mini peg to the end, and now boom, I can hold stuff. So the idea is I come along and I want to hold something in place. It's just a matter of, there we go, and that makes it easier to spray. That's the idea anyway. I'm sure it's going to work. So now the idea is I'm going to go and undercoat this. It's a nice day. It's nice, sunny and warm, so it'll be a good day to spray paint. I'm going to spray all these in a primer, and hopefully this afternoon, if it's dry enough, I'll give it all a base coat. Okay, we'll be back shortly and we'll have a look at the progress. Okay, welcome back. So I've undercoated all those parts, including the rear mast as well, and they're all drying at the moment. But in the meantime, the next step I've got to start with, while I'm waiting for those to dry and do the base coat, is the main ship here. Now I've had to pull my camera way back about 4 feet above me to fit as much of this as I can in, even though it still doesn't fit. This is quite long. So what I've got to do here is, there's nothing in the instructions for what I'm doing. This is all the detail kit, and it all requires all these little bits and pieces of photo etch to be put along the side of the ship. There's little, I don't know what they are, but there's little hatches and little pieces that have to go all the way along there. So to do that, I'll have to bring this out and pretty much check out all along here. There's like a little edge. Up closer you can see. So there's an edge along there, and that's where we need to put all these little pieces. Now I need to check because there's already stuff on here in the detail of the ship. Now if the photo etch requires me to remove stuff just to replace it with the same thing, I'm not going to bother. But I'll have to go along and just check all these sections out. The other thing is too that I am going to have to start thinking about painting this as well, which is one reason why I'm going to work along here with the photo etch. That will be all I have to do on this before painting it. Now there's decking. I've got my wood decking to go over on the top here, but there'll be little pieces throughout here that will be sticking up through the decking as well that will need to be painted. So even though the top's going to be covered, I'm still going to paint it. Whether or not I will do the top, which means all these little pieces the same blue as the side, I'm not sure yet. It would be easier, but I'm not sure. I'm going to have to decide whether I'm going to do that or not. Because like I was saying in the previous video, I'd like to make sure some of these things stand out a little bit more rather than just blend in with the base colour. Not much, but just be slightly lighter colour. So I'll just show you. There's also, for this, we'll have this, which is going to go on top of here. Probably like this. Yeah. So that's going to sit on there. And then we've still got some more pieces here for the bow and the stern. Haven't even taken these out yet. That's going to go up on there, and this one's going to go down this end. Yeah, I'll have to see. One thing's for sure, whatever colour I decide to do, it's all got to be primed with an undercoat. My Steinel res. Another thing I will do is make sure, go through the fitting of the next step on these instructions. Sorry if that's a bit bright. You can see that. So all these little hatchways and little bits on the side, you know, all these things that will all go on here. I don't know if they will fit over the wood decking or not. So, I mean, if I could put a lot of this stuff on now and still lay down the decking and the holes they poke through without any problem, that's good. But we're going to get to some point where some of these things, just because of the shape of them, like there's some larger shape bits here, that the decking won't fit over the top of, so they'll have to be put on after the decking, which means they would have to be painted separately after. But as much as I could get on before painting is the plan, because then there's less little bits and pieces later that have to be touched up and hand painted after the decking's on. If you can sort of work out what I mean. I'm trying to make this as easy as it can be, but to avoid, I'd much rather spray stuff than hand paint anything, just for the quality you get when it's sprayed. So I'll go through and pull out the decking, which is in the box up here. Grab that. And see. Okay, so here's all our decking. Now, these already have all the holes punched out, and that stuff's ready to go. So you can see what I mean. The holes are all punched out to go straight over this. So if that's going to sit on top of there like that, it'll be like that, then I'd like to be able to, there we go, it's sitting on there, fit everything in there that will also, it'll sit over the top of. Obviously there's some brackets that have got to go in here that are walls that won't. There's a lot of spots here for the lifeboat racks. And there's other things here, I don't know what they are, but to go through and work all that out along with this part, which is major section here. That's going to go over the top of there. Sit down. So there's lots of bits and pieces that I might be able to put on and still fit this over the top. That's the plan. Now this is the first time I've used a decking that doesn't come with the backing. So previous ones I've used, see this one's wooden decks by, can't pronounce that, Thankyou. Now I picked it because I like it, but this one has to be glued down, and I bought some wood glue for that, which I'll smear over the bottom and glue this all down. But it's the first time I've used one that hasn't got the backing on there, that just sticks down. It should be all right, should be fine. There's the other section there. See, there's lots of little bits here too that I'm guessing actually they look like for the lifeboats, which I've already painted. They are actually. Okay, I have to go back and have a look at the lifeboats and see what I forgot about that. There's some decking for the lifeboats. And this piece is going to go pretty much over the top like that. Okay. I'm glad I pulled that out because I'm going to go check those lifeboats and see where those little pieces can go on. And it'll be a good test for my wood glue to see how well that works. All right. Okay, so I'm going to work on those lifeboats, of course, but I'm also going to put all the little bits of photo etch around on the outside of here. And we'll be back and see how it's going. All right, back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So what I've decided to do, I keep changing my mind, but you can't help it. First of all, I've put all the pieces to go around the side of this ship here. All the little photo etch pieces are all in place all the way around. And what I was going to do was glue this section on and this section on until I realized there's two screws that go through into the hull underneath there. So this needs to be screwed down onto the hull before I can put those decks on each end. So that means that I have to attach this to the hull. Now I did a test fit and I found it fits really nicely, except there's just one little spot on the bow that's just pushing out a little bit too far. It's just a little bit out too far. So what I've done is I've got a clamp on that. I'm going to leave it overnight. Hopefully that'll pull it in a little bit. The reason I need to pull it in a little bit is because getting this to line up perfectly on the bow here, it's just slightly out because of that being out there. So once that's pushed in, this should sit nice and square. Everything else is fine. It's really good. So yeah, now also if I'm going to be, I checked all the fitting, all the pieces that go onto these for the fore and aft on the deck, and going by the instructions, because this is step 29, which is where we're up to after I've painted these masks is all these little bits and pieces will all fit on the deck, and my wooden deck will glue over the top of them. They won't be in the way. And they're all on the H sprue, so they're all on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go along and take every single one off and mark them as I go, put them all in my little box here for step 29, clean every piece up so they're nice and tidy with no bits of plastic sticking around on them. So they're all ready to put down onto the deck of the ship. The next step on 30, there's some pieces there that are going to be too big, which means they'll have to be painted separately. And then there's some more here on 31, which are also going to have to be painted after the wood deck goes down because they're too big. They're wider at the top than the hole is for them to go through on the wood deck. And then it goes onto the stern of the ship, where we go again back on this H sprue and pull all these pieces off, making sure they all will fit. And then again it's a repeat. Step 33, there'll be some bit of painting and stuff to do on those. But I would say once I'm at that stage, I'll probably have everything on the deck that can go on there. And then we get to this part where we've got to put all this surrounding area here, which is at the bottom of the superstructure where these cannons are coming out of. That will have to go down also before I spray, because I'd like to get that sprayed with everything else. And I'm pretty sure that the decking goes around the outside of that. I'll double check and fit to make sure, but I'm pretty sure the decking's going to sit around that nicely. And then once that's all done, then that can be sprayed, undercoated and base coated. And then there's also the center deck, which will come after all of that. That'll all be done separately, because all the pieces on that, even though there's some that need to be painted, I can either do that while it's on the deck, because it's also got wood decking to go on top as well, and lots of pieces, which some of those will all be done on the deck, but these ones, all of these parts I've already made up, so they're ready to drop straight on top of the wood deck on there. It'll be on there. So that's the plan. Yeah, so I'm going to take all these pieces off these, clean them all up, have them all ready and sit them in here. And also, not so much that, but there's some other little bits that may go on. And we'll have a look at, when I come back, we'll have a look at the undercoated pieces that I've already done that had all the photo etch on it, because that's going to get sprayed the color base tomorrow. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Oh, welcome back. We have got the undercoat of white Stynel res painted on all these structures now. I'll show you how they're looking. Get that better. There it is. They've dried overnight. And let's have a look at this one. So these are all ready for the base coat to be applied. I've got this bit of blue tack covering the spotlight, so those lenses will stay clear. Just make sure I put these down carefully. There. It's come up quite nice. And more pieces. And yeah. So looking forward to giving these a coat of paint. Then put the clear window plastic in for the windows. They'll be done. Meantime, I'll carry on with my other bits and pieces. But yeah, I'll go spray these now and give them a chance to dry, and we'll have a look and see how they come up. Okay, back soon. Okay, welcome back. And as I promised, I've got all the parts all painted here, the base coats. So what we've got is the two masts here. Be very gentle with these because they're still drying. But look at that. Now there's an undercoat is all I've got at the top. So they're not actually, they're supposed to be white. I haven't sprayed it white yet. I'm going to see how this dries as the Stynylrez undercoat. And I might just leave it as it is. Just touch up the lines a bit, make it look a bit neater. But yeah, so these are all come up quite nice. All done. I'll just be careful with this. Here we go. These ones here. Done on the sides. The made mask here with all the searchlights. I'll take the blue tack off there, and we'll have the lenses showing on them, so that'll be done. There's another one there, piece done. I need to put the backing in there of the plastic for the window effects. I'll do that when it's all dried. And that's that. So we'll call it a video here. In the next part of the series, we'll be working on the deck. Now, I've actually got the ship hull and the sides, main structure of the ship are actually now glued and clamped down together. And that's drying with a ton of books. I'll show you I'll put a photo up. You'll see what that's looking like. I'll let that dry overnight. There was just that bit on the side I clamped just to make sure, just pulled it in that fraction of a few millimeters, but otherwise it was a perfect fit. So that will dry overnight. And then I will start working on, well, I have started doing some of the little pieces on the deck that can go on before the wood decking can go down. That way that can all be sprayed beforehand. There were some other little bits I was looking at, like this, for example, where the anchors go. You'll see these little mesh covers, photo etch, that are there. Actually, I was just lucky I found them because they're not actually in the MK1 photos and numbered to put on there. It was just there happened to be a picture of, oh, what are those things? And I had a look and go, oh, I remember seeing those on a fret somewhere, and I found them. So I took them off and I put them on. So there's a lot of things you've got to go through every detailed photo because it may not be, it'll be there on the fret of, you know, it'll be somewhere amongst all this, but it may not necessarily be numbered on the pictures to tell you to use them. I've also got some little pieces here which will go on the deck. Sorry about the brightness. Yeah, that'll go on the deck. I'll keep that all separate. So that'll be in the next video. We'll go into doing all that. and probably also be gluing down the stern and the front of the ship as well, and connecting those permanently. So yeah, that's it. So yeah, I'll let these dry and decide whether I'll put a white coat over that grey, because I don't want it to look too white, too new. I mean, the whole ship's going to be weathered in the end, so an off-white would probably look better as it is now. We'll see how it goes. But I'm happy with that, the way that's come up. It's come up really nice. It's sprayed on really well. I'll be working on these parts here that go around the deck now, that this can actually go on, because the decking will fit over the top, so that can be sprayed on there. This actually can't. It'll have to go on after the wood decking's on, because it sticks out to the side and the decking won't slide over it. So there's little things like that you've got to watch out for. I mean, not that I can't paint them after, but it just makes life a bit easier. Okay, so that's it. I'll see you all in the next video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Get those notifications up when I put out a video. It's every few days. I put out a video. Give us a thumbs up if you like it. Put your comments are welcome. Hints, tips, questions, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.